Hello everybody and welcome back to another video on Planet Ark. In this one we will be talking about what to tame early game, and the first dinosaur we will talk about is the Parasaur. So the Parasaur has a few unique features to it. Not only is it one of the fastest sprinting dinosaurs in the game, when you increase the speed that is. To begin with, I found it quite slow, but if you pop a few points into movement speed, it goes up quite a bit and you'll be able to outrun most dinosaurs in the game. So to begin with, we'll look at how many times, or how many arrows rather, it would take to knock the dinosaur out. The best thing to do is use a bowler, and if you only have a bow and trank arrows, there will be a number counter on the screen to tell you how many arrows you will need. We'll also do it again with the crossbow straight after. All you need to do once it's unconscious, chuck a few medjo berries in there and it will be tamed in no time. So on to the first feature of the Parasaur. So if you hold E, go to alert settings and enable turret mode, it will send out pulses to let you know that it has detected an enemy nearby. It will also pulse up in red. Whilst you're riding the Parasaur, if you right click, it will also do the same thing. So the next feature of this is when you press C, it sounds a unique horn which scares away mid-sized dinosaurs. Number 2 on the list is the Lystrosaurus. This dinosaur can be found along the beaches where most players start and is a very easy first tame. Simply pop some medjo berries in the last slot of your toolbar and press the use button. It may take a few times depending on taming speeds, but usually doesn't take more than a few times to tame. These guys have a unique ability in that it allows to give tamed dinosaurs an experience boost that lasts about 5 minutes. Simply walk up to the Lystro and pet it. This buff multiplies all XP gains by 1.35. Number 3, Mashops. Another easy tame if you get lucky with what it wants. These are passive tames with a unique diet. You are looking for the ones that would like to eat berries or meats, as these will be the easiest to tame. They are a great resource gatherer when riding, and if left to wander, the Mashops will go around gathering resources by itself. Doesn't even need a saddle, so you can ride it straight away. Very easy source of large eggs, also to make superior kibble. More on that in a future video. In addition to bonus stats, each time you spend a skill point, you will also gain the ability to apply a harvesting level via the tame wheel menu. Each point harvested will increase both likelihood of gathering a particular resource and the quantity of the resource gathered. This bonus isn't applied, however, if you are riding it. Whistle to make it attack the corpse is the best way to do it. Number 4, the Dilophosaur. Dillos are common on the beaches and are often one of the first carnivores you will see. On their own, they can be seen as pretty useless. However, if you were to tame a few, they can help defend your home, or at least be a sacrifice whilst you run the other direction. Easy knockout tames and can be done with a slingshot or even your fists if they're low level. Make yourself some bowlers, trap one and fire a few rocks or arrows and it will go down quick. Once unconscious, pop in some raw meat and it shouldn't be long before it tames up. Tame a few and watch them go to work. Their spit slows down most creatures, giving them time needed to catch up and bite their ankles. Especially useful if a raptor comes down onto the beach. Your team of Dillos will either save you or be the sacrifice you need to make your escape. Number 5, the Phiomia. The Phiomia is incapable of fighting back, which makes it a very easy tame. Make sure you got bowlers and keep firing your trank arrows at it. Once it is down, pop some Mashop berries into its inventory. You will notice it will eat them at a pretty consistent rate, making it quite a fast tame. Unfortunately, these tames are relatively useless. It cannot gather berries, attack damage is poor, okayish speed and weight. So what are they good for? Well, make sure you pump all your points into its food, because as soon as you feed this beast stimberries, prepare for a shower of poo. They produce more poop than any other domestic dino, and this makes them the ideal animal to have around your crop plots and compost bin. This will help keep your crops fertilized and allow the making of fertilizer that much easier. Number 6. The Anky. The Ankylosaurus is probably one of the most important utility dinosaurs early game. Their strong knockback with their attacks and relatively high health makes them a secure tame to ride on. However, be wary of their slow movement speed on land. When it comes to taming the Anky, they are easy to outmaneuver due to their slowness. However, if another Anky sees this, they will also attack you. Primitive bow will break before you knock these guys out, so make sure to take a crossbow. It took around 34 trank arrows before this one went down. Where this is a standard herbivore tame, pop some medjool berries in its inventory and go grab a juice box. The reason they are so good is due to their gathering potential. They are one of the best viable ways of harvesting ores such as metal, crystal, obsidian and flint. They even have an 85% reduction to the weight of metal. I show how much metal I obtain compared to what an Anky will get. They are also competent at harvesting large quantities of berries, as well with its right click bite attack. It can even collect thatch and wood in moderate quantities. Setting it to wander is also a thing, and will look to harvest resources automatically. Number 7. The Ichthyosaurus. This sea creature's base movement speed is incredible. It can outmaneuver dangerous dinosaurs and get you to safety with ease. Relatively easy passive tame. All you need is meat. I went with fish, however most other meats would tame the dolphin quicker. Prime meat especially. Try keep an eye on them when taming, as they do tend to wander. I got a bit lucky here as mine got stuck, allowing me to tame it without even moving. But what you can do is pop an already tamed dino in the water with you. The dolphins tend to nuzzle up to tamed creatures, allowing a smoother taming process. Traversing the sea won't be an issue with this dino, and when you're ready to tame something bigger, you can use your crossbow whilst on one, making the likes of a megalodon tame that much easier. Just be sure to keep the ichthy in a safe place, as they are not much of a fighter and will die relatively quick due to their low health. Number 8. The Triceratops. One of, or not the most important tame for a beginner player. These guys are a fortress. A good amount of health, great damage, and rarely gets hit if you time your attacks right due to its insane knockback. The more the opposing dinosaur weighs, the more it gets knocked back. They are an excellent berry and thatch gatherer. Not many can beat the trike in that area, so leveling up melee damage also increases the amount you get. For me, I leveled it up in weight because it is a great way to move your home. As I plan to move more inland from the island, this will allow me to move my materials much easier and potentially in one trip rather than a couple. So holding down the right click charges up a ram attack, where the trike moves with increased speed, and if it hits a dinosaur, it will temporarily stun and movement speed will be reduced. When around specific carnivores, like this Rex, the trike will gain a buff. I'll list these on the screen now. This buff affects nearby tamed and wild trikes, boosting their damage and health. So the easiest way to tame them, in my opinion, is to make yourself a little trap out of wood foundations and stone doorways. I'll list what you need on the screen now. Lay down the foundations as a 3x2 and door frames all around the outer parts, then pop the ramps at the front. Shoot the trike and kite it into the trap. Make sure to shoot at its legs or body and not its head. The head is armoured and takes reduced torpidity. So this can be done with a bow, but bring a spare just in case the durability runs out. I somehow hit the trap with a shot, but will take around 40 trank arrows to knock out a max level trike. I start to slow down with my shots at the end, which is a good habit to have as torpidity rises for about 5 seconds. So count 5 between each shot. This will give you less of a chance to shoot the tame after it's been knocked out. Crossbow naturally knocks it out a lot faster, using only 19 trank arrows. Once it's down, it's a standard herbivore tame, so pop medja berries in its inventory and go grab yourself a coffee. Once it's tamed up, I decide to name it Triceratops after my partner. Yeah, it turns out it was a male. So, yikes. Number 9, the raptor. You have no doubt died to one of these several times at the beginning of Ark. They come out of the forests and hover around beaches attacking and eating everything. They can be such a pain in the ass. However, they have a very low torpor tolerance, meaning they can be knocked out and tamed very easily. Make sure you got some burlers and have at least cloth armor so you can take a hit or two before getting too low. It'll take around about 11 trank arrows with a bow and only 6 trank arrows with the crossbow. Pop in some raw meat and shouldn't be long before it's tamed. If you manage to tame at least 3, you will notice the highest leveled raptor will start to glow. This is your alpha raptor. Make sure you ride this and saddle that one up. If you ride it and press C, it will buff your pack. The buff itself, I believe, increases attack damage, damage resistance and speed of those your alpha has buffed. As a pack, they can easily outdamage a lot of dinosaurs. However, be careful. Raptors are glass cannons, meaning they do lots of damage, but they have very low health. They can easily be killed by high level trikes, so be smart with what you target, and it will be an easy ride to collecting resources off of creatures. Number 10 on this list is the Pteranodon. The Pteranodon should be your first flying tame. It's one of, if not the fastest flying tame on the island. You unlock their saddle at level 38, which gives you a bit of time to get the other tames on this list. Taming them is very easy. Make sure you got some bowlers and some patience, as they tend to fly away when you get near. If you try sneaking up on them or throw the bowler from a distance, it tends to work, as they will not have enough time to fly away. With their very low torpor level, you can knock them out with only 5 trank arrows with a bow and only 3 with the crossbow. I put prime meat in the one I just took down, and raw meat into the other one I took down a couple minutes earlier, to see what the differences would be. Bear in mind I have 8 times taming speed on. So naturally, the prime meat has tamed the Pteranodon much quicker than the raw meat. Definitely worth finding, especially if your taming speed is lower than mine, as you might lose levels due to taming effectiveness. A quick special mention, the Stegosaurus. Although it didn't quite make the list, the recent TLC to these guys does make them a great addition. They come as a tech variant, meaning that their base stats will be 20% higher than a regular Stego, so their max level will be 180 rather than 150. Although they are slow, they're fantastic resource gatherers and have a unique plate mode system that allows you to change between 3 modes. I'll list these on the screen now, and this can be done by pressing C. Their huge knockback with their tail swing rivals that of a trike. If timed correctly, you can keep swinging and not get hit at all. When you see the marker light up red, that means you can impale the creature. Do this with right click. It may take a few times if you're bad like me. Once you get it, it keeps the dino in place and does damage over time. The higher your stamina, the longer you can do this. But yeah, that is my top 10 early game tames. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Hopefully you agree with the list, but if you don't, let me know what you would change and why. Thank you for watching, and next video we will be looking at the various different kibbles. Take care, stay safe.